Hello, my name is Cedric, and along with my beautiful wife, Connie, we'll be hosting my brand new podcast, That's What I Said. I'm a retired Navy veteran that suffers from PTSD and anxiety, and we'll discuss how I cope with the mental illness through comedy and discussion. It's a podcast that will talk about everything from cryptocurrency to comedy. If we're worrying about the dollar going up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's still a dollar, guess what? The value of that means absolutely nothing. Cryptocurrency in itself is the future of money. From spirituality to cannabis. To have cannabis on the Schedule 1 list is bullshit. I'm sorry, it is. It makes absolutely no sense. If it's a seed that can be planted and it has healing properties in it, why the hell is it in Schedule 1? Last time I checked, cocaine don't have healing property in it. From interracial relationships, I don't have a problem with people talking about interracial relationships. People try to talk bad about my interracial relationship just to think that they can get under my skin. I mean, really, it don't bother me. I mean, let's not make, call a spade a spade. But if you have a problem with someone that's in love, it shouldn't matter the race of the person. It's a mental illness in our community. The problem is people want to put labels on it. Everybody wants to put color on everything. And as soon as you put color on it, it gets treated differently. The money gets treated funny. Because if it's dealing with Asians, guess what? It's going to take a longer process unless those leaders step up and get into the president's face or U.S. leaders' face and say, this is a problem in our community. Not leaving one topic unturned. If you want to hear real, authentic conversation, interviews, and comedy, please take time to listen to That's What I Said, because I said what I said.
Giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filter. Listen to That's What I Said. Available on your favorite podcast platform.
That's What He Said with Cedric D. Sanders.
100% real, raw, and uncut. Deadass.
Welcome to another episode of That's What I Said with Cedric Sanders.
Giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filters. This broadcast starts now.
Everybody, thanks for tapping in and tuning in with us. We're live for another episode of That's What I Said on Tuesday.
I'm slacking on my production right now. Sorry, y'all. What's good, everybody? So tonight is gonna be weird. Really weird because we got to be transparent. But thanks, sis. I appreciate it. And this, our announcement is kind of right up your alley in a sense, but, so let's get this out of the way before we even really kind of get into the,
Get into everything.
Get into everything. Cause really this right here, this podcast that we got going on tonight is definitely going to be different. Tonight is going to it's an announcement based podcast for one, and two, this is going to be a I guess you could say it's more celebratory. Yeah, I'm sweating. It's hot. My computer's already been putting out nothing but, everything. What's good, fam? Everybody, what's this? Stacks, I see Mo in the building. What's good? Everybody.
Dang.
Angie's in the building, man. It's like, dang, this is gonna be
We got the whole fam here.
Facts.
What's good,
We was just talking about everybody.
Sure
oh no, you ain't gotta be concerned. Ain't no concernment. So first announcement is there will not be a podcast next Tuesday. That's what I said. We'll only have one day that we're doing a podcast. What's good, Tanya, today in the building? We're only going to go with Tuesdays for the podcast. That's what I said. Now, everybody's probably going to be like, okay, that's pretty much when I see y'all anyway. That's cool with me.
Right.
So originally I was doing it Tuesday and Thursdays. Then I said, no, I'm going to change it to Tuesdays and Saturdays. I haven't been doing a podcast on Saturdays for a reason. Here recently, we've had some things going on that we needed to handle, and we took care of those things and everything, but there's still one more thing on our plate. Hence the reason why we're not doing a podcast next Tuesday.
It's a big one.
Oh, by the way, we're not going to do one for the next 3 weeks. Now, my wife over here, I gotta put the car in the shop. She's the car. So, without saying everything, my wife has to have some work done, and the doc has to do some, fixing up. And so
we can put it out there. It's fine.
Okay, so Connie's getting ready to have some hip surgery.
Yes,
she's been dealing with this hip for over a year, and now it's surgery time. So yeah. I have to step up and pretty much take care of everything else within the house that she's not going to be able to. And with that being said, I'm not going to do the podcast because I am going to do the podcast, but I will not do the video. So if you haven't downloaded the Spreaker podcast app, you need to do that, because Tuesday I will not do the podcast. However, next Tuesday I will. So she's going to be out.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, appreciate everybody in the comments. She's going to be down for a little bit, and I will still do the podcast audio-wise, but of course, with her having the surgery and everything, she's going to be kind of down and out, and I'm not about to have her leg in the air and trying to do a podcast high. That's just not going to do it. So, yes, you do. Yes, you do. So if you haven't downloaded the Spreaker podcast app, you need to do that. Sensei in the building, what's good? We was just talking about my brother. Hey, Sensei, when you get an opportunity, bro, you got to give me a call after this podcast. I got to holler at you about something. Anyway, we got to holler anyway. But the other announcement is this. So, the other announcement is this. So, for a while, if you've been following me for over my 5-6 year period of being on social media and everything, kind of my coming out party was just thinking about, forget it, I gotta be able to express myself and not hold this in. But at the same time, it's one of my anxiety things is sitting in front of people talking to them. So I started doing Facebook Lives, and the show I had on Facebook Live was called The Evening Eargasm. Now, if you ever looked at those videos, I know, for real, Sensei, facts.
Much love, man.
Much love, for real. But
he already knows.
Yeah.
If I could say I choose you,
right,
that would be it.
Facts.
That would be it.
Facts. So, I had a show on Facebook for a while. If you've been following me, if you have, there's videos still on my Facebook. But I was doing a show called The Evening Eargasm, and it was kind of a branch off from another group that I was a part of when I originally started it. And then as time went on, that group separated, And I continued on with it. And then it kind of went away when I started doing Blog Talk. Once I got off of Blog Talk, I just initially took a hiatus for about 6 months and started my podcast. So this transition has been kind of a revolving wheel of me wanting to express myself as a retired Navy veteran that suffers from PTSD and anxiety, just like the commercial that plays every podcast. Yep. And now it's transitioned to even bigger things because now I got my wife by my side. I kind of made it a more intellectual and engaging type conversation from my point of view. Hence my t-shirt. If y'all don't like my t-shirt, I mean, I'm sorry for the awful, mean, and accurate things I'm about to say. No, I'm not. And it's a disabled veterans t-shirt. Anyway, so the evening eargasm will take the Saturday slot of what originally was going to be That's What I Said. So That's What I Said will still be on Tuesday, but there will be another podcast that is That's What I Said presents the evening eargasm. Oh, wait, there's more.
This man always got something to say.
I always got something brewing. You know that.
Mm-hmm. That mind be working all the time.
So for those that don't know, I've been trying to do a podcast with a group and it be from a man/woman's perspective on lots of topics, but everybody knows me, solution-based conversations. Mm-hmm. So that is heavily in the works right now, and that is heavily getting ready to get to the creation phase of me creating the actual podcast name, getting the people together with a recording day where we can sit down and record the episodes. And that is coming sometime in probably late November, early December. And it may actually be earlier than that if I can get the people together and we can have a conversation. I just haven't let those people know yet because I've been trying to creatively get this going and get the right people that can dedicate the time to have that discussion. I will tell you, my co-host and my wife will be, of course, one of the people on the podcast. And the other people, I can't say because I haven't told them. And let the truth be told, some of them are in the chat right now.
we need to work on this here, sir.
So there's in my hiatus on not being able to do the podcast. You just tore the mic up the whole time you was doing that. You need to learn some etiquette.
It wasn't.
I'm gonna have to teach it to you when you.
It wasn't intentional.
When you got your bad wheel in the shop, I'm gonna have to sit you down and go through some podcast etiquette.
Oh my goodness.
Might be doing audio podcasts from the bedroom. I mean, so, so I have been in this big creative mode, and I have to shout out Tanya Danae, who's getting ready to start her podcast journey, and she's actually gonna do a podcast on Clubhouse. She's starting it on Clubhouse, then she's gonna transition, but she's thank you. Yeah, thank you. And I need y'all to really, if you got the time, go on Clubhouse and follow her. And she's getting ready to start this, and it's going to be it's doing it on Friday. I'm sorry, I don't know the time, but you can put the time in the chat so people can write it and lock it down, Tanya. But we need to support our sis because she's getting ready to start her podcast journey. Now, I've always been this way. My brother Sensei has a podcast on Spreaker. You need to follow his podcast. People that have a voice and want to express it, go on this podcast journey. I'm telling you. People are listening to people's podcasts they have never heard before and getting a different perspective and a different type of voice with a different attitude, and it's going to connect. Mm-hmm. If you have personality, you actually want to be engaged with people, start a podcast. Hey, Tanya, put down like what your podcast is about. Put down like how they can get a hold of you in the chat so people can link up. And this video is streaming now on YouTube and Twitch. So get your info out there. Get your info out there. And please use the chat. And I'm saying this on a podcast, but I'm saying this as a general statement. If you listen to me on Spreaker, you can also type in the chat as well. Whatever it is, whatever you're trying to network, build on, or whatever. I just strongly suggest you do not get in there and try to, demean people and get on your high horse and think you can talk crap about people on there. Don't do that, because I'll block you and delete you out the chat. But it's all been family in this chat, and I want it to continue to be that, and I want it to continue to be network building processes, regardless if it's part of my podcast or if it's in the chat. I'm going to engage. I do a live podcast. Everybody knows that. There's no no mistake about it. And people ask me why. I just like doing lives better. She just put the link to the Clubhouse to her club. Please go in there and copy and paste that into, your browser, and it should automatically load your app in the Clubhouse. If you don't have it downloaded, download the app.
Yep.
I'm on there.
You can find all kinds of topics,
I'm not about
houses, and all that kind of stuff over there on Clubhouse.
I'm about to promote Clubhouse.
I
don't like the way it looked. The new update. Anyway, that's not for this conversation. Yeah, exactly. So podcasting, and this event, like I said, this is more of a free flowing conversation because there's not an actual topic for this conversation. I think podcasting in itself is one of the best things that was created because it gives people the opportunity to talk their shit. And really,
it also gives people the opportunity to express themselves.
Well, talk their shit. That's what talk their shit mean.
But I mean, it really has provided a voice for them.
Right.
Where they didn't think they had one.
Right.
And whether they go live on video or they do it in a recording.
Right.
Their voice is now being heard, and people are gravitating to those. And it's boosting not just their confidence in what they're doing, but it's boosting their ratings and getting them noticed, and their network and all that is just going through the roof.
I'm going to say this real quick, and absolutely, I agree 100%. 100% agree.
Lisa, get on it.
So I'm going to say this. I got to put this out there. Lisa already knows that I've been wanting to have her as one of my people on my podcast. Sensei does too. There's one other person that we really haven't said. Garrick. Mm-hmm. I definitely need Garrick. But there's one other person, and she's been working her tail off. Our sissy, Charlie Lamont.
Absolutely.
Now she has a podcast, and she has a YouTube page that's just taking off right now.
Oh, my goodness.
And she's doing her own thing, staying in her lane, something that she likes to do. Mm-hmm. And she's doing or having the conversations that she wants to have and move them from Facebook and being really successful with it. So I think I'm saying that to say this. Don't doubt yourself. If you're comfortable with a certain group of people and you would like to have a conversation with them, one or two things you can do. Have a Zoom call with them or have a, regular conference call and say, look, I really, exactly, or a platform. If you feel that you have built, conversations that can build a lifetime with people and help them better, And you know that if you have this conversation with people you're close to that are in your intermediate circle, how many other people would be grateful for that same information?
Oh, absolutely. My goodness.
So that was kind of my transition into my podcast. If that is you, why not do the same thing?
Absolutely.
Have your own personality, create how you want to talk about things. I mean, and the unwritten rule is when you're doing a podcast, it shouldn't be no more than 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to be honest with you. You're absolutely right. If it's information based and it's news based, if it's opinion based,
those are going to go a lot longer.
Opinion based conversations last about 30 to 45 minutes because they bring references. Now, if you have something that's entertaining as well as informative, that can go an hour. Or more. Because now you're entertaining, but you're providing information. Now, if it's straight entertainment, there's no set limits to that. Mm-hmm. You could do a show for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and people would stay in there because it's either comedy or it's crime. Oh, my God. True crime.
Off the chain.
As a podcast, is like one of the top things out there.
Sure is.
Edutainment. There you go. Edutainment. So I'm going into this process of trying to create that podcast that I will fund as far as getting it distributed to, Apple and all that shit. Do y'all remember the 2 to 4 hour blog talks?
Oh my God.
Sis?
Oh my God.
Those are 4 hours, first off.
Damn near every one.
Every day. I talked to Sensei on the phone for about 2 years. For 4 hours every day, if not more. Except for the weekends.
But no, we were doing stuff on the weekends too. Like I'm really sitting here trying to wrap my head around how we all managed to make time for that.
I'm going to tell you right now.
I mean, I was at work doing this stuff. That shit was crazy.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm about to say some funny shit, but I'm going to be honest with you. This is how that shit happened. When you have
facts.
It's not going to all be funny, but it's going to be informative. I'm going to be transparent. It's going to be informative, but it's also going to be funny as shit. So Lord. When all that kind of happened, just for the listening audience, we had a blog talk radio show that was 4 hours long. About an hour and 15. Well, let me stop. Okay, it was about an hour and 45 minutes of that was music and it was like audio of other people. And then it was a conversation to kind of bridge the gap and bring everything in between. So you had a conversation before, and then you had some music interludes and shit, and then you would come back. I mean, it was a true radio show if you really thought of, or a talk show if you really thought about it.
Right.
So this is where the bullshit comes into effect.
Lord.
Sometimes in that creative process, you have minds that actually want to create. And they're not just having these conversations to have them. They're actually wanting to create or be creative in that process. Other people are just taking the content and not necessarily applying the content. They want to abuse the content or use the content as a building block for them to create something else and then say it's my thoughts, my mind. No, you have recorded conversations of other niggas saying that shit. So that's really, it may be yours per se because you had the platform that I paid for and a couple other people paid for. So really it wasn't necessarily yours, but I guess it was if it had your name on it. What's good? Banks in the building. So
Good, Banks.
When we all came together, it was more so of people, and I'm gonna say this before I say what I'm about to say. The spirituality piece was a strong factor into that. It wasn't the main course. That was the appetizer. Okay? That spirituality thing was the appetizer. Because, truth be told, a lot of us came together because of the spirituality thing, but we were too naive to realize that it's not what brought us together. We realized that in different parts of our life within this time period.
Yeah.
But when we realized it, is when we started to kind of branch off and wanting to do shit together.
Oh my God.
But we were stuck between doing that togetherness. And when you get stuck, people don't know that there's a force that keeps you together. And when you try to pull apart, it gets stronger. You start staying together and you're not realizing you still together, but you still pulling apart, but it's still something holding you together. That's called bullshit. I'm just saying, that is the strongest glue of a non-functioning relationship. It's bullshit. It was so much bullshit in between us pulling apart that we could have pulled apart 9 months ago when I first said, something stink over here. and I fucking said it, and I didn't say nothing.
The crazy part was that all of us were like-minded, except for a few individuals.
Yeah, we'll just say,
Let me just say that.
A few individuals. Anyway, way, somebody was peeing in the pool. And I'm not lying. They said they sharted. No, you shit it in the pool.
Oh, God.
There was not a shard. It was, okay, so... Not to, because I don't believe in name calling and creating all this bullshit ass talk without the person in the room. And the person's not in the room. If they was in the room, I'll talk about it. Not because I'm like trying to be an asshole, but they in the room and they can defend themselves.
No, he ain't gonna be an asshole. He gonna be petty. He gonna be all that.
You said he, so now we know it's a he.
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh, he, me,
Yeah.
I gave it away then. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah, while we trying to wade in the water, we just trying to float, and this motherfucker farting and shitting in there. Because his stomach's fucked up. They don't like me.
Oh, Lord.
Just shitting in the pool. Just
I can't.
too lazy to get up.
I can't.
Why?
Jesus.
You were infecting good water over here.
I know, and we was truly like-minded, very well connected with.
Did you hear what I just said?
Out this individual.
What did I just say?
What?
What were I talking about? I said all we need to do is get out the water. All he had to do is get out the water, right?
He couldn't.
What was being played during them loose booty ass nigga? I'm done, Sensei. Said loose booty. So, what? Literally. Motherfucker fart. Oh. Who the fuck is singing?
Stop.
Why does it sound like Barry White in this bitch? Oh. But I said get out the water, right? What was that shit what was the shit that was played? Infinite Waters.
Oh, shit. I can't.
Bitch, what?
Oh, my God, I can't.
Dumbass!
This guy right here.
I'm sorry, you can't be in waters when you don't wash your ass. Anyway, so
Oh, Lord.
Anyway.
Said I'm out.
So I can't get into details about it because, like I said, I'm not. But anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
So the bullshit is what was keeping us together. We ended up dealing with that shit for like almost 2 years. It was probably about 19 months, 20 months, something like that.
It was a long time.
It was a while. But anyway, in this whole process, you end up meeting people that you gel with, that you're cool with. And during this process, I was doing a morning Facebook Live. Then I was doing this radio broadcast. And then I was getting off of there and doing a Facebook live show in the morning. I was doing that. And then that branched off into just doing my own Facebook shit right after all that shit. And I think this was at a time when spirituality was like Crips and the Bloods.
Wow.
Because you had different, what's good? The Water King, Mr. Andre Little in the building was good, my brother.
It's good, Andre.
And I met people in this process, including my brother, Mr. Andre Little. I met him through this process of me being on Facebook. And it gave me the opportunity to meet other people through the BS. Just through everything that was going on, and then being able to, yeah, absolutely, the king of currency. That's what's up. Hey, when I talk about cryptocurrency and money and things of that nature, it's right up my alley. But a guy that unequivocally has a good knowledge of it, and I bend his ear sometimes of certain things, and learned so much from this man to where I binged off and was able to mass create what I've created on not just currency, but just to understand the financial literacy and awareness. It was because of him.
Absolutely.
It was because of that. It was because of people like him that allowed me to learn and be able to build what I wanted to build and created mine so that it would be bigger for other people to be able to listen, because everybody doesn't listen to information the same way.
Oh no.
It's what what you're attracted to is what you're going to listen to. And 9 times out of 10, if you're wanting to get out of a bad habit, you're wanting to listen to people that can relate to you.
Oh my goodness.
Not people that are richer than you, not people that's going to throw their financial, their wellness in your face, but someone that wants to see you be successful. So
absolutely. That's
what I wanted to do. And that's kind of like what kind of branched me off from doing the evening orgasm to where I am today with doing That's What I Said. Because That's What I Said is exactly what it is. If I said it, that's what I said. Oh, speaking of which, last week, I was given some bad information.
Yes.
I was given bad information for something that I didn't know, and I thought I was getting it from the right individuals, when really they weren't the right individuals, and I don't fuck with them no more. Because I started doing more research, and I realized that they was giving me bad information a lot of times. And not from my podcast per se. It was just other shit that I was trying to work on, and using them, this particular person or group of people, as, I guess you could say, it was more so as information to help build the direction I wanted to go with my conversation. Because all of my conversations that I do, live podcasts, I research and build my script mentally of what I want to talk about it and how, because I put key stones. I'm like, okay, as soon as I talk about this, bam, I'm going right into that. As soon as I hit that, bam, I'm going right into that. And that's how my conversations go. But that's why I wanted to do them live, because I know I can do it. Now, I put out last week, because of the government shutdown, that the government shutdown was going to affect veterans' benefits. No, it's not. It never was. Their funding comes from a federal fund that is protected and it is protected so that, and it's just like Social Security benefits. If the government shutdown happens, Social Security is still going to be going. Veterans benefits, as far as disability benefits for retirees and things of that nature, still be going on. Now, veterans health care is not impacted. Veterans medical centers, outpatient clinics, and vet centers will be open, of course. Benefits will continue to proceed and be delivered, including compensation, pension, education, and housing benefits. Burial will continue as well. Damn, they're going to still be burying dead people during the fucking government shutdown? Damn, they digging holes like a motherfucker. That's crazy. So this gives people an opportunity to understand you can be wrong sometimes. And I will come back and admit that I was wrong. I didn't have the right info. The info I had said that it was still operating because of the fact that their federal funding is approved through the government, money that goes on, but it's not. Post office is the same thing. The post office, you don't have they get their funding from a different place. USPTO. Right. The USPTO, a permit, patent and trademark office, different pool of money. So exactly. So it gives people the opportunity to still get their benefits, and this benefits only certain groups of people because only certain people are still going to get those benefits.
Right, exactly.
And it actually, it plays a part into their lifestyle, where other people, it may not necessarily play a part in their lifestyle. It may affect something, but it may not affect something to the point where it's going to make them have to get a loan or adjust or do this, that, and the third. Right. So, and in that, and knowing that.
And there are some things that were going to be cut off or minimized during the shutdown, but they were minimal.
Right.
They were very minimal. Whereas when you're talking about the funding that the veterans get as far as their disability, retirement, and all that kind of stuff, that's what had a lot of veterans really, really on edge.
It had them nervous because some of them, it's their sole income, and while others, it's not their sole income, it's a secondary income. Right. So it's not really going to affect a whole bunch of people as much as they thought it was going to hurt. And for me, I thought it was going to hurt us, and it really wasn't. It's going to affect my wife, though. It's not going to affect me so much. Yeah. But it's still an issue because they only put a Band-Aid on the situation, and they're still going to have a vote in November before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The week before Thanksgiving. Right. So mark your calendars. I ain't going to be talking shit about it, but I mean, I might. I might, because I think a lot of people don't understand how much it's going to affect. I mean, it affects TSA. It affects so much. Drinking water.
I was just going to say, did you realize it's going to affect your drinking water?
Yeah, it'll affect your drinking water. If it goes on for a long period, if it goes on for more than, I think they said 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's going to affect drinking water. Because just drinking water has to get inspected. Mm-hmm. It has to get inspected to make sure there's no chemicals going through it. It has to be certain parts per million. It has to be all this, and it has to have so much alkaline. It's all these things that they have that your drinking water has to have, because that's what they want in your particular state, county, and city. And yeah, it's one of those things. Exactly. Most definitely, brother. Most definitely.
I was just about to say, Andre, you already know.
Most definitely. We will get together, man. We would definitely get together and do that. Most definitely. That's something we kind of talked about a few months ago, but not in grave detail. Just telling people about it. But yeah, we definitely need to do that. I just think that in the process of this whole government shutdown and stuff like that, it's going to open a lot of people's eyes to the reality of what's really going on in our government and how we can effectively get the right people. Because right now, they just fired the damn
Speaker of the House.
Yeah, they just voted that fool out because he wanted to keep the government running.
They ousted him today.
And it was like, no, we got to have some fixes in place before. And they was like, nah, bruh, nah. You want to decide with the enemy, Republican. Pew pew. They voted his ass out today.
Yep.
And he didn't even get the 218 votes because two of the representatives wasn't going to be back in D.C. It's like, we don't need their votes. 216 to 210. You out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you guys need really, truly pay attention to whenever things are happening in the government and as far as when it pertains to a potential shutdown and all that kind of stuff, because it does affect you.
Some people
in the long term.
Yeah.
And whether it's minute or very large, it's going to affect you, and you need to know how it's going to affect you.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. A lot of people's thinking is I don't want to watch TV because of all the bad information it's putting out, because they only want to put out what they want to put out to you and kind of entice fear in you, right?
Yeah.
And I can agree with that to a certain degree, but I think you as a person that can vote, regardless if you do or don't, it ain't my judgment and I'm not going to judge you. But I say this, if you don't vote, don't bitch.
Well,
if you don't vote, don't bitch. If you do vote, who are you bitching to? Because if you're just doing it,
right,
that ain't gonna get nothing done.
Just to him, her, and them,
right? And just to be the top. The head guy in the conversation. Every time we talk politics, he want to drop his name in the hat. It's like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Who else you telling? Did you?
You need to get with your congressman, get with your senator, take it all the way up. You have to.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because we know people ain't gonna do that. I'm not gonna say that. Not here. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Nope. Not gonna do it. I'm not. I'm not gonna be that guy that's gonna tell you that the answers to the real questions for us to get the way things need to be done is to go and write your congressman. I'm not gonna tell you that. You know why I'm not gonna tell you that? Because I'm not gonna tell you that because it actually works. Because I did it.
It works.
It works, but I'm gonna tell you this. If you eligible to vote and you don't vote, don't complain about things. And people say, well, I'm not gonna complain about it because it ain't gonna really affect me. And then when it's actually affecting them is really when they talking about it. Right. So it's like, why are you talking about it if it's not affecting you? And then the people that do vote, we still gonna bitch about it because it's our human nature to complain about shit. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, if we are not letting our voices be heard by the right people, we're just better to not vote just to talk about the shit that the people don't vote about. The people that don't vote, they bitching just like you are. And guess what? It's about the same shit.
Right, exactly.
So I'm going to say this. And I'm going to leave it alone from here because I know me, I don't like doing all this politic talk. We have to, at some point, build or have platforms that get to the people that need to hear from people that are not going to sit here and just be quiet and talk to just certain people that will have the conversation because they comfortable and nobody else knows that conversation, but it's wealthy conversation. It's like, why didn't I think of that? That's a good idea. Or, yeah, you're right. It is kind of wrong, but what are we going to do about it? I think we should do this. Shit, what's wrong with this? Whatever it is.
And a lot of people think you have to physically go to the White House or up on the Hill to have these conversations. No, you don't. You don't.
No, you don't. All you got to do is, and it's not even that. I don't care if you think you got to go up there. You go up there and do that shit, and they're going to do just exactly what they did to the people that came up there on January 6th. Mm-hmm. They're going to beat your ass and do a long jail or long court case for you and put you in jail for 20 years just for but you're not arguing your point. But no. You're missing the point. You're getting too like hyper political. I ain't trying to do all that. And I ain't trying to force people or say that you should. Like I said, I ain't trying to do all that. Not here on my podcast, I'm not. Because at the end of the day, if you choose to listen to this information, I'm not going to be the person to politically tell you what the hell you should do in your life. You're going to live your life the best way you want to, and you're going to do whatever it is you're going to do. But don't come in my comments or to me bitching about something that you voted for or didn't vote for. I mean, we got to learn how to play the game at the end of the day. Not a piece of the game, all the game.
Yeah. And
how it can work, how it can better you and put you in a better, generational financial stability kind of pool of just growth for not just you, for the legacy of your family. And not even just that, but giving you the opportunity and the ability to, and I don't know what the heck happened, but giving you the opportunity and ability to give your family the right opportunities to be successful in life and not have to start out and struggle. Mm-hmm. It's like, if I started out in struggle, why should my offspring start off in struggle? They should have the better things in life, better than what I had. Regardless of what I had to get it from and how I had to get it, it's making sure they don't have to go through what I have to go through. And then teaching them the right way to build that process so that you can continue on doing the thing that you need to do in life, which is to be successful and to continue to build not just your brand, but the lifestyle. So I think it gives not just the opportunity for people to say, oh, I can't be successful in this because I need someone to truly mentor me or to truly get me in a better situation so that I can be successful, but I need to get in that better situation based off of, I don't know, maybe the financial, stability this person has, or the ability to just, use other people's money for my advantage. And I heard something that was weird. Well, it wasn't weird. It was kind of, I think, a good conversation because it kind of went into different directions with people's comments. But they was talking about, I heard a conversation. It was on Kevin Hart's. Kevin Hart has a podcast. Mm-hmm. It's called Golden. Let me get the right name because I'm bad. My memory. That's what short-term memory loss does when you have PTSD. It's a Gold Mines. Sorry. I had to get it because it was bugging me. Gold Mines, Comedy Gold Mines. And he brings comedians or celebrities or artists or whatever to his podcast and they have conversations. Well, anyway, he had Jay-Z on there. And Jay-Z was saying that he hates that when you've been successful and you have, the success you have, and then you go around family and they always have the startup plan and they want to use you as the bank. Meaning, I just need like $4,800 and I can flip and give you $2 million. Bro, ain't nothing work like that. Stop. And it made me think because he said he don't give money to family members, where Ludacris said when he became successful, he had a friend of his that came around and said he wanted to go to barber school. So Ludacris paid for it, and now he's his barber. He had another friend that said, hey, I want to be a lawyer. Send him to law school, and now he's the person that does all his litigations and everything. He's his lawyer and stuff.
That's what's up.
So everybody's like different. And it's like, how come you can't use your financial generational wealth to help people that not only went to school to do something, but now they have their first client, and that person's going to pay you for the services that you have to do, right, based off the training and everything. It's like, I get rich and I don't have to cut my own hair, and I can send my son, or I can send somebody else's son that really wants to be a barber to barber school and cosmetology school. And then when I travel and I'm doing the podcast and I'm doing all these different things speaking, I got my own barber with me, and I send him to school, and he's one of the best barbers out there, and he's cutting other celebrities. Bro, stop. That's a win-win, not even just for me, for him. Mainly for him.
Right.
Because how is he going to get that exposure if I wasn't invested in him?
Right, exactly.
And he wasn't invested in me. And I invested in him, and now we're invested in each other. And now I got him in a better situation to be around money that he was probably never going to be able to get a hold of if he wasn't connected, or if he wasn't connected to me, and whatever. Yep. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's a way of giving back, and it's how you support people, and the ability to be able to get them in a better situation to attract money too. So it's a different feeling, and I think it's a different mindset. And I understood where Jay-Z was coming from, but I also understood everything that Ludacris said. Yeah. And there were two different videos from two different time periods, and the conversations, the conversation happened because Ludacris was just having this conversation. I can't remember where he was, but it was Kevin Hart's The Comedy Gold Mines, and he was interviewing Jay-Z when Jay-Z said that. And I think both of them are valid. I think a lot of people will have issues with that conversation because they say, well, you rich, you should be able to help person out. Why come you can't, pay their rent or whatever? I was like, because that's a temporary fix. That's a Band-Aid. Mm-hmm. If I say I was a millionaire and I was doing podcasts and all this stuff, and my family knew I had the money, why would I entertain a conversation with my cousin talking about, hey, I just need some help, blah, blah, blah. And then 3 months later, you call me with the same bullshit. At some point, you're going to get tired of that, and you're going to be like, yo, stop. No. Yeah. Stop living the way you live and be creative. What is it that you want to do? Right. So it's what
do you have a passion for? What is
right.
Where's your drive
and help them get to that position. Right. Because then they could be appreciative, and it's not about how much money, they can get out of you. Yeah. And then it's like, why is it about how much money you can get out of me when it's only a temporary fix? It's only fixing a temporary situation. Mm-hmm. You can only ask for so much money to keep those lights on while you're doing fuck shit. And guess what's going to happen, 9 months later? You done burnt that bridge with somebody good when you could have just told them the truth about what the hell was going on, so this person can help you either change what you're doing so you could be in a better situation in life, so you're not feeling like you are stuck.
Mm-hmm. Struggling.
It's just... Exactly. It's a case-by-case basis. Exactly what I was thinking, too. It's definitely a case-by-case basis because everybody's situation is different. Mm-hmm. And you got to treat every situation how you feel those situations need to be treated. Me, personally, I don't have a problem helping out my family members. However, I'm not going to sit there and just be a sponge. You know what I'm saying?
Every month.
And it's like, no, we're not doing this every call, every month. I'm not doing that. What I am going to help you do, though, is if I'm in a better situation financially and people know that, and I don't have a problem discussing, that's something totally different. Right. But don't have the assumption because someone is living where they're living that their financial situation is better. Just because I do a podcast and everything don't mean that I don't have my own financial situations, or other people that have a podcast might have their own financial. It's all about presentation and how you do things. I'm not about clout chasing. Right. This is a damn.
And y'all know I damn sure ain't.
This is a backdrop.
I get 2 fucks
with a towel and 2 sweatshirts clipped to it. I'm definitely not clout chasing. It is about presentation, which is going to go through a change. So when we come back with the video portion of the podcast, y'all going to see the change because it's coming. Because I got new backdrops, and a whole bunch of stuff. So, yeah, it's coming. But I just think that financial wealth or generational wealth, however you want to look at it, more so generational wealth, you want to be able to build that foundation with self first before you give it to your kids. And I don't mean you give the money to your kids. You give the wealth, information, and education to your kids so that they can build, and they build, they build from where they're at, and you give them that information, education, that is going to be something of a great importance, not even just to your life, but to theirs, because they're going to be starting at a younger age. They can build bigger wealth, and it's going to be able to just flourish in a direction that it needs to flourish. Absolutely. I appreciate that. I appreciate because it needs to change. We're going to make it a little bit more lively.
And the fact that you can do that education and information to them, they can then provide it to their sons or daughters and continue it and continue it and continue it for a lifetime.
Well, yeah, you got to teach them how to continue it too.
Exactly.
You definitely have to teach them how to deliver it and how to get it manufactured into a better. You want it to where what you have could be almost triple to quadruple when they get it, and then when they get it, they maintain it, build some assets, and then be able to do the same thing, and have their kids triple, quadruple, 5, 6 times, 10 times, whatever. And you just keep it going in that direction to teach them financial wealth and financial wealth management. Mm-hmm. You done built your legacy. Now your great-great-grandkids is like on top of the world, and everybody's like, well, dang.
How'd they get there?
It's like, dang, they coming from the straight burbs. I mean, they hard with it. And it's like, you ain't losing no firepower. You're not. You already starting off young. You're already starting off young with the conversations. And you're building wealth. And you're not changing the person you are. You just understand wealth management better. Mm-hmm. So let me say this. My video, again, got kicked off Facebook, and that's why I'm getting tired of the Facebook. So it's good that we taking a break because I don't have to go video live for a minute, and I can do the audio. So please make sure y'all download the Spreaker podcast, Spreaker.com podcast app. It's on all your stores, and I have links that is on my fan page. If you go to my fan page and then go to posts and scroll down, I have the links to both of the and for Android and Apple Play Store. So go to That's What I Said fan page and get that information. You can also go to my website, ThatsWhatICed.com, which is in the description. The merch store is in the description. So, yes, please cop some merch. Please support the podcast. Help us grow. And helping us grow is being able to just listen to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. Anything for everybody before we leave?
The only thing I have to say is, once again, I appreciate all the love and support and the comments from everybody tonight. Thank y'all for keeping me in your thoughts. And I'll be back in a couple weeks, and by then I should be better.
Fucking hip is logging off. You better stop all that long-winded talking.
Yeah, I know my hip is logging out.
Yeah, you sitting out here just talking, and your hip is done. It's done. It didn't log the hell out. So I know when it's time to leave, y'all. I know when it's time to leave. So with that being said, y'all already know what time it is. I'm going to see y'all in 2 weeks. Well, y'all hear from me in 2 weeks. You won't see me because I won't be on video. Y'all enjoy the rest of this week, y'all. And make sure that, whatever you do, you are constantly trying to build a better you. Regardless of what it is, you always trying to build a better you. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all to life. And as always, keep your head on tight, y'all. We out of here. Peace.
That's What He Said with Cedric D. Sanders.
Thanks for listening to another episode of That's What I Said with Cedric Sanders. Make sure to like and subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode.
That's What He Said with Cedric D. Sanders.
100% real, raw, and uncut.